So colorful.
This is Marigold.
Marigold.
But it looks like
Carnation.
carnation.
Marigold?
Now I don't know.
Oh no. It's one of those.
This is Marigold. But to me it also looks like how a carnation looks.
Yeah. Yeah, when I think about a marigold, I think, like, they gotta be really small, but you can't really tell size-wise.
Yeah.
And they never just go by themselves.
Certainly not.
Should have made a bundle.
It was already too much to do just this. This is a really fluffy, layered skirt. I couldn't do more.
If you needed the iconic little pot that you buy in the store.
Yeah.
That's how I know it's a marigold, is when it comes in the little tray.
It's too true.
I wanted to say the tray, that Echo Tray Arcadia.
Mm-hmm. You know what that means.
If you know, you know.
I'm nervous because this is a slightly longer video than normal, and I don't want to run out of things to talk about. So I have all these little anecdotes that I've written down in advance, and I hope I don't just blaze through them. But that's probably going to happen, and we're going to have awkward silence. And this video is only going to be 5 minutes long because I have to cut out all the awkward silence.
And the watching of it will be like, I didn't see anything that happened.
Exactly. Okay, so one thing happened earlier this week. Avery had just written some random letters, just wrote F-O-F-O, and he was saying foo-foo. Or maybe Felicity was saying that should be said as foo-foo, and I was saying, well, if it's F-O, just that, then it would be fo-fo. And if you wanted it to be foo-foo, you could do F-O-O, F-O-O, or F-U-F-U. And I was just glad there weren't any adults in the room. It's like, they didn't grasp onto that because they don't know enough of that language. But it was like, I realized as I was saying it, like, dang.
Yeah.
Gosh, Avery was doing some fun things where, like, because he's getting really good at writing letters. And then today, I don't know why he got into this, but it was like he wrote a few random letters asking if it's spelled someone's name, someone who's been working on at the wall in our house, and it was like, well, I don't know that guy's name, but also that's an E and an I, so I don't think it spells his name anyway. But then he got all curious, like he wrote down other random letters. He's like, what are these ones? But he's like, he was trying to create letters from scratch. It's like he ended up doing the T shape a few times because it was just like he was just doing random strokes, you know. Creative mind.
Yeah, he's really impressing me with school so far. That he's like, just, I don't know, I feel like I had to lead Felicity to water and like very slowly, like it was a long process to get there, but I feel like with Avery, like I'm trying to do the same techniques that I needed to with Felicity, and he's like already there. Mm-hmm. And we had a math thing where you had to count something on this side and something on this side and decide which pile was bigger or if they were the same. And when there's groupings of 5 or less, you can look at it and just know the count. But I didn't think Avery was at that level. So I was having him count it out, and we got to this next part and he was just like, that was bigger. It's like, huh, it is, but do you actually know that by looking at it? Or so I was like, how many are there? And he just said the number. He just said it. It was like, there was no guessing. It was just, he was confident. I was like, oh my gosh, you're not supposed to know it already.
Gosh, that reminds me of some of the homeschooling stories you were hearing about, where it was like this one woman was doing this one like way of going through with homeschooling where it was like, you don't teach your kid how to read for much longer than you would expect to. Mm-hmm. And she was saying like that situation didn't really work out for her kids because her son just started teaching himself how to read totally unexpectedly to her.
Yes. It is nice. It's like whatever we are doing with Felicity, Avery's picking up on it. So like he's already hearing Felicity do 2 + 2 is 4. It's like sometimes he's just saying things and he's wrong. Yeah. But he is getting a lot of it down that, like all the way up to 10 he's usually right, but then he'll start be doing like 60 + 70 is 60. It's like, no. Yeah. But it is a lot of just memorizing, so he's doing really good with that, and it's nice. Yeah. So whatever grade Felicity is, Avery is too.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's been true since they were really young, because I remember that maybe Felicity was like 2 or 3 when she started like doing voices for stuffed animals and like making characters into things. But Avery started doing that when he was like 1 because he observed her doing that. Yes. So it's like, it's impressive for her to have done that at her age just out of nothing. But it's like, I feel like it's impressive for him to do that by seeing it and just, I don't know, it's like they feed off each other and it's good.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I remember that milestone was really impressive for us to notice that she was doing the voices, but then he just, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember milestones where it's like, we know it's an impressive one because the pediatrician would be like, oh, wow, good. Like, if they just blew it off, we'd be like, I guess it's nothing really special. They really, kid talked to us.
Yes, they did. They did.
Good job. When you were on your cruise, this is a relevant segue for you folks at home because
she said, good job.
Yeah, someone who worked on a cruise, they went on whatever. When you were on the cruise, you had to have a passport, right?
We did, yes.
Where did you go then?
We went to different places in Mexico. So it went from Mobile, Alabama, and then we went down Cozumel.
Ooh.
Cozumel and doesn't matter.
Okay.
But you could have gotten off and done excursions, but leaving the ship at all, you needed to have a passport.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember one time I had booked a flight, but then I was late for it. It was the weirdest thing because I never do that. But anyway, I was trying to get it rebooked in a different way. And it became a factor that I didn't have my passport with me at the time because it was like, well, we could do this one. Oh, although it goes through Canada, so we can't do that one for you. It's like, wow, I should have brought my passport with me. Gosh, but it's not often that we do planes. I feel like I've done trains to last a lifetime. I feel like my best train ride was because it was 6 hours, but I slept through most of it, which I'm not usually able to do, but it was because I had just gotten my wisdom teeth out and I had that like good pain relief.
Yeah.
So that conked me out for the whole train ride. And I wouldn't usually have brought a suitcase for a train ride because usually it was just short trips. But I had the suitcase, and so I was able to put my legs up on the suitcase, and there was enough leg room for me to do that, and it was just the best, perfect, most amazing train ride ever.
Yes. I feel like we always enjoyed those train rides.
We always had each other, or we had our iPods or cards, so we had good time.
And they were spacious enough. They even had, I think you and me both had trips to get those pizzas. Those mini, like deep dishy, so cheesy, good ones.
Yes. Although it's the thing we've talked about where that's not the kind of thing we would prefer. Like, I would never go out to the store with all the amenities we have here and be like, I'm going to get that train pizza. Yeah. It's like, but when you're on the train and it's all that it's available, it's like, that is the best thing I can think of.
So
right
good.
now.
Boiling hot.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, that reminds me. Like, those pizzas, we also got those from Costco.
Okay.
When we were living with Mom. And oh my gosh, I remember this one time, I thought it was so smart of me that instead of like blowing on it to cool it down, I was going to spin in a circle with it.
Ooh.
But the cheese slid off.
Oh no. Oh my gosh. Did you
that
survive?
Cheese is like, it didn't get on me. It flew off and it was a huge mess. But it was so memorable still. It's like, I was so smart. I'm going to spin around and cool down so fast.
Yeah.
But no, now it's just ruined. Was it the last? I don't know. I remember it being so memorable, like sad.
Gosh.
Was it the last one? Maybe. I don't know.
I feel like if I were in a different mindset, I could really cry over that.
Oh.
That's so sad.
Gosh, that other food losses. I remember I was pregnant. We had like spaghetti and garlic bread the night before. And I think I had been making... Like, I made bacon to go in, like, cooked into the fridge so I could make a sandwich with bacon. Mm-hmm. So we had bacon. We had old garlic bread. I was like, I'm pregnant. I'm like, bro, make me a grilled cheese with this garlic bread and the last of the bacon. Oh, so delicious. Yum.
Oh, no.
And it was, he put it on the plate, and it was on, he cooked it so that the end was rounded on the plate. You know, so it's obvious, but it just didn't give it much of, like, a sog or, like, heft. It was just sliding around on the plate, so I was like excited, and I walked, and it fell on the floor. Gosh. So it was ruined. I think I might have cried.
Oh. Yeah, that is sad. When you feel so good to be using leftovers too, that's a tough blow.
And it's like I didn't have to make it. I was so excited to have a special treat. And the kids were taking their naps, I think, or I was pregnant, so Lizzie was taking her nap. And I was going to take my sandwich and go upstairs and read and eat. And then...
Tragedy.
It was so sad. I think he was offering, like, I'll go get some more garlic bread for the store. It's like, no. Today's ruined. You can't fix it.
Man, that sucks. Gosh, I misinterpreted what I thought would happen because I thought it was going to be, like, he didn't understand your instructions, so he made you a grilled cheese, and also he warmed up the garlic bread and also bacon. So it was like 3 separate things. Oh. Because it reminds me of the thing where you, like, someone was fixing you some leftovers from Thanksgiving, and you said you wanted...
oh, my God.
Yeah, what was it? Mashed potatoes and yams. And...
those yams were so good.
Yeah, but the person misunderstood, like, because they would have said sweet potato, and so she got mashed potato and ham. It's like, that's not... When you want yam...
I was pregnant! That was so disappointing. I think those are the best yams I ever had in my life. I can say that because I didn't get them again.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, how sad.
It wasn't her fault.
Yeah.
She just misheard. I guess it's a southern thing. Would you call it... Yeah, sweet potato pie. You wouldn't call it a yam.
I feel like it does change based on context. I feel like I say both, just it's different.
Yeah.
A sweet potato pie is a sweet potato pie, but yams are yams. Unless I've heard them say it themselves, I will adjust to the household I'm in. Or not, because it's a word people would know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I'm just glad I understood where the miscommunication was. It's like, wait, why would she give me ham? I said yam. Oh. But I feel like I was thinking, it was like, I said yams. I wouldn't have said hams.
Maybe she thought you were weird. Just uneducated.
Yeah.
It's just slices of ham. You don't just say hams. Gosh. Speaking of food, Avery had a cute one. So usually we write down anecdotes that are like private from the other. But this time, this is something that Shell and I were both present for, but we wrote it down so that our mom would hear it in a voiceover. Because we were passing by a Subway, and Avery was like, "That's the long burrito place." It was really cute, because like, we didn't really look at the Subway sign at first, so we didn't know what he was talking about. Mm-hmm. But then we saw it. It was like, that is so apt. Good job.
It's hard sometimes because, like, my first instinct was, like, wanting to correct him, and it's like, no, that was so precious. There's no need. I just... Mm-hmm. It was good. It's perfect description of a sandwich. Long burrito. But speaking of Avery and those long burritos, he always gets meatball subs, and he can't hold them without all the meatballs falling out. So it's, like, the messiest sandwich for me to hold for him to take bites out of. But anyway, the last time he had it, at least I'd finished my food, because your guys' food took so long to get there. I had finished my food, so all I had to do was hold a sandwich, and I wasn't, like, waiting to take bites of my own food.
Yeah.
And have messy marinara hands.
We could tell that story, even though we both know about it, and also Mom knows about it. If anyone's curious, we had a car appointment that was kind of far away a week or two ago, and so we decided to just make a day of it. Like, we would just hang around locally until the car was ready. And we had a separate car. Like, we drove separately, so we could just go do excursions and like walk around stores and enjoy just the day. And so when it came to lunchtime, we got to this little plaza, I don't know what you call it, just like a place that had a few options. So Avery and I ordered Subway, and Michelle and Felicity got some like poke bowls, which was cool. So it was like our Subway, it was like an online order, so it was going to be ready by the time they were finished assembling their poke orders. But when we got to Subway, it was just a little bit hectic. It was the lunch hour, and there were 2 people working there who, like, I was talking to one of the ladies, and she was like, yeah, this is our first time working a shift together, and, like, we haven't found our flow yet. Mm-hmm. And it was really obvious because one of the ladies was, like, super snarking the one who was talking to me. It was just like, yeah, she needs to, like, be cool. Mm-hmm. The one I was talking to, for the most part, was really nice. So, anyway, so it was like we did the online order, but then when it was ready to be picked up and gave us the notification, it was not really ready, so I went up and like stood there and explained what needed to happen, even though it was like on the receipt. It was really awkward, and it took like 15 extra minutes, and it was the worst Subway ordering of my life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Mom already knows about that, because when we got home, I was just like, I need to vent. She needs to know what happened. Yeah. I've been hurt today.
My HP is so low.
Yeah. Gosh, I feel like that happened a lot more during COVID times, of just like any time I interacted with anyone, it was like, HP hit, can't do it.
It really was. I feel like it's not so bad nowadays, especially with me being out in the public more with my job.
feel like every time we had to send something USPS,
Ugh.
like every single time it was bad for some reason.
Yes.
Man, I wish I had anything to say about my art going on. But yeah, I feel like I'm getting to a point with flowers where like we can't say anything new because I've done this already like 20 times now, I feel like. So we know what I do. I do the petals and I do the leaves. I fix up the stem. Been there, done that. In other news, speaking of mom, so I have something that mom will have been there for that you were not there for. So I ran out of paint, and so I jumped in the car when she was going on an errand so that we could stop off at Michael's so I could get some more of this shade of paint. But they didn't have the particular shade of green that I really like in the size of container that I wanted. And so it was funny because we were like, there was another box of paints that had not been stocked and stuff, and so we were really surreptitiously like looking through that box because it was like I showed her the paint that I wanted, but it was in a small bottle. I wanted a big bottle of it. And you know, there were big bottles of a shade of green, but it was just like not quite right. And I was saying like mine is called deep green, and you know, she was comparing it to like the sap green and the deep green. She's like, yeah, like that sap green, it's close, but it's not as deep. And it was cute because like we were both invested in finding a big container of the deep green that I wanted, and it's like this is something that she normally wouldn't have an opinion on, and I think it's just really cute when someone can like get really invested in something. It's like, yeah, like she has an opinion on this shade of green now because she knows that it's important to me. Mm-hmm. It's like she can see the difference. That sap green isn't going to cut it.
Not at all.
And then there was another thing where it's like there was a buy 3 get 2 for free deal. So like I could get 5 for the price of 3. It was like I couldn't think of what other colors I really needed, but she was like, you gotta like 2 free bottles. So it's like she was trying to like we were walking up and down the aisles because it was the whole aisle that had the deal. So she was just like trying to help me find anything that I could just get to have the free deal.
Did you?
I did, yeah. I like what's rough is that I tend to get just the primary colors because I know how to mix them, and it's like the reason I go for that one particular shade of green, even though I could just mix the blue and yellows, because that green is really special. So I was like, I was looking for other ones because I had already stocked up on all my primaries and all my greens and stuff, so I didn't really need them. So I was like, maybe these 2 very special shades of brown. Like that's something I might have a hard time mixing myself because they're just so very special. So I got it.
Perfect. Oh, coloring soon.
Yeah.
So soon.
Start doing
Coloring so soon?
Yeah. Gosh, I had this one reference picture that was so pretty because not all marigolds look like the one that how I'm painting it to be, because I feel like they could just be all solid colors. But I saw this one that was just beautiful. It was like this kind of deepish shade of orangish red, and then it was like gold on the very edges. Just like, that is beautiful. I need it.
I just sent you a reference picture of something with like accents on the edge. I love an accented edge.
It's so good. But yeah, it's fun doing this one. It looks like flames. But I change it a little bit later because it's not going to look exactly like flames. You'll see.
I think it looks like heads, and those are all their hair.
Ooh, cute.
What is the meaning of marigold? Did you say it already?
Oh, I forgot.
Oh my goodness.
I always do this. I don't even think I introduced this. This is a November, what's it called? No, I think this is in October. Yeah, this is the October birth month flower.
Okay.
And next week will be Cosmos, is the second October birth month flower.
Cosmos is a name of a flower?
Right?
Huh.
I have
is it blue?
It's not.
Oh.
Right?
Like a dark blue. Like
No.
Cosmos.
Right? Like every time I Googled, to look up images for it, I had to specify Cosmos flower, because otherwise there were going to be space images. I don't know why. It's weird.
I felt like I said Cosmos different there, and it just got me thinking about reading that book tonight.
Which one?
Investigators.
Oh.
Because there's puns in there where they kept mentioning eggs in different words. Mm-hmm. So you have to like enunciate the egg, but it really is the same word. Even if you're trying to say the egg more, it's like I'm trying to make it so the kids understand the joke.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm just saying it like louder or more intense. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Gosh, I appreciated the effort.
Eggs. Actually. don't know. But like, I don't know if puns are there for them. Like, if it was funny and amusing to them, they're kind of just blank faced when I'm reading. Like, okay, you said that word, move on to the next one.
Right. Sometimes.
But if you haven't read those books, they're good. Investigators, that's all.
Yeah, by John Green, but not that John Green.
I think he's a John, some initial Green to be different.
Yeah, he has to.
He is.
Thank you for watching. Tune in next week for the next flower.
See you next time. I feel like I have to say something. Okay, I'm gonna say. Okay, I got it. Bye, guys. Dun 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 dun.